Please, I will copy the link for the YouTube on the Telegram, on the WhatsApp, on the both the WhatsApp page and the Zoom page. If you know anyone that wants to be part, please just send the link to that person. Do you understand? If you know anyone that wants to be part of this, send the link to that person. That person can actually join, and then we can all have a good time. So it's not, the class is not restricted to the people on the free page. Anybody can just, I'll send the link. And anybody can join. People remember, you know the code. You know the code now. I don't have to use my mouth, Abby. The code for the class now. If I have class, you know the code now. Abby? Oh, thank you. Go on. Get it. Yeah, come on, take it. Oh my God, some minutes ago. So, please, can you see the link I've sent? Please don't let Daniel come downstairs. And you two don't match nice time to wake up. All right. Have you guys seen the link I've posted? Yeah. Have you seen the link? Please, if you have seen, let me know that we have seen it so that I will not be assuming. Please, yes, all right, so copy that link and paste it on your status, paste it everywhere. Let people be aware that we're having a class and let them join. You can help somebody. Is that okay? It's a very strong platform. All right, so I do believe somebody must have seen that link and will be happy to join the class one way or the other. You know, so I'm trying to set my second phone just to be a backup. The guy is not, okay. So back to business. Our focus today is right. So I know there will be discussion in between, so I'm going to save that crisis by muting everybody. So in case you cannot hear yourself, I muted you, so that we will not have to struggle in between by saying, hello, say Victoria, mute your phone. I'm not talking to you. I'm just giving an example that, you know, by the time that kind of thing happens, you start screaming everywhere, everybody mute your phone, you know, and a lot of distractions begin to take place. So like I said once again, please let us see your face. I've said that many times, and I don't want to repeat myself again about that. It helps me to flow. So we are dealing with writing tax 2. Now, welcome to IELTS free webinar. The focus of this webinar is to teach anybody how to pass IELTS at one sitting. This class is a long-term class that may not be able to deal with people that want to write exams in 1 month or in 3 weeks or in 4 weeks or in 6 weeks. And the reason is because it's short. The times we meet is short, just 30 minutes. We just pick key areas that will be very beneficial. And I encourage people that join the group to watch the previous videos of the old classes that we have. We have had a number of classes in the last 6 months. And if you dig deep into that YouTube video, you will go to some classes that you have had like 2-3 years ago that can really benefit you. Powerful classes that were long term, maybe 1 hour or 2 hours. How many of us have seen those videos? The one, if you have dug deep, because there are some videos that I was taking like some years ago. I don't know if anybody has seen that. All right. But then today we are going to be talking about writing evaluations. Writing evaluations. After this class, I will be talking about the short-term provision that we have for those who want to write IELTS. And I'll be giving that, I'll be opening a room for those people that want to utilize the short-term provision to pass IELTS at one sitting. Listen to me. This is Mercy Khan Academy. Our aim is to raise 1,000 people that will pass IELTS in January and February. And most of which will be that it will be at their first attempt. We are aiming to break that record of people having to write the exams 2-3 times before they pass. We want to expand the scope of success within Nigeria landscape so that within the year, over 15,000 people are able to pass the exam, all writing at the first time. I'm very aware that there are many people that want to write this exam once and pass, but not many people know what to do. So our strategy is to raise the awareness so that people can come into, we use January and February as a sample to show people that you can truly write and pass at once. So by the time people now begin to come up with their result, some other people will now say, oh, I think they are actually very frank about their arrangement. Then they will now be convinced to join us, and then the revival of success can spread all around the country. Is that okay? So you are welcome to Mercy Khan Academy once again. And so I'm going to be talking about writing evaluations. Now, one of the key issues with IELTS that makes IELTS to be IELTS is that there is no open syllabus for the exam. Do you understand? You know, if you go to university to learn, some of them will tell you, in this term, we're going to be using this syllabus. So they will give you a booklet that you can literally go through on your own. And then when you go to those materials, you can literally predict what is coming out. Secondly, IELTS past questions are not verbatim. So, you know, unlike our common NECO WAEC JAM that you can go and study past questions in case they repeat past questions, the strategy for past questions repeatal in IELTS is not verbatim. It's not exactly as direct as our exams in the country. Thirdly, the English language that is being dealt with in IELTS is not our local or national English. It is what we call international English. That's the reason why IELTS is called International English Language Testing System. So their English is not the one that you are used to. It is the one that's what international. And that's the reason why you will need to come to terms with what is really international English to be able to pass. And number 4, their evaluation system is not regular. When I say not regular, what I mean is that it is not made available on the open platform. And of course, it's not also what we have been used to prior to prior to writing the exam. Our evaluation system in Nigeria is our marking scheme. Our marking scheme is with our teachers. Sometimes they give us the marking scheme. We can see how they came about their answer. But in IELTS, it's not regular. It's not made open to the public. And because it's not made open to the public, it will take someone in the in-house of IELTS to be able to tell you, this is the marking scheme that IELTS is using. And if you want to get success in IELTS, this is the marking scheme you can use, right? And that's the reason why success is not that regular. You find that out of every 100 that sits for IELTS, maybe 1 or 2 happens to pass at one sitting. But we have changed the narrative actually. In the year 2020, 2021, I was privileged to be a guest to a class of people I don't know. And what I observe is that you can apply the skill of IELTS as a rookie to IELTS. And when you apply that skill, you will get the same result as a professor who is also writing for the first time. So whether you are a student or you are just finished school of nursing, or you are a doctor, or you are a pharmacist, or you are a healthcare technician, or wherever you are coming from, what you need to pass IELTS is not your knowledge in school. Rather, it is what you have been established with, or what you have been used to in in the skill that is exposed to you. Now, the second or third thing about IELTS is that your skill can be built from your upbringing and personality, not your knowledge and exposure. Get that clearly. Your skill can be built from your upbringing and personality, not your knowledge and exposure. So, which means that most people who have not undergone the training of IELTS, but have in one or the other cultivated the habits that makes for success in IELTS, could pass IELTS than someone that has gone to school and is already a PhD holder, because the upbringing has allowed him to build the habit that can make him pass IELTS. Now, after all of that, so it is important for you to have an idea of what the evaluation system for IELTS marking is, to know whether you are ripe for success or not. Now, there are things about it. Number one, there's one thing to know the evaluation system. There's a second thing to apply the evaluation system, and there's a third thing to apply it correctly. Are you getting me now? So, usually, if I tell you the evaluation system, it will take someone that is a pro in English language to be able to correctly apply it. But if you are probably not a pro, you might need someone that is maybe like someone that has a bit of knowledge about in English language to be able to apply those systems in a way that is going to be a bit accurate. And when I say accurate, I mean that correctly used application or using it correctly. So there are 4 systems or 4 parameters to judge your success with writing. All right. The first one is called task response or task achievement. Task response or task achievement. Is that right? Task response or task achievement. Now, I'd like you to understand that task response is what is usually applicable to writing task 2. Why task achievement is applicable to writing task 1. Writing task 1 can be divided into 2 parts. We have the letter writing for those who are writing general, and we have the analytic essay for those who are writing academic. Letter writing for those who are writing general, and analytic essay for those who are writing academic. All right? All right. So what the examiner wants to see in your task 2 is that did you respond to the task appropriately? Did you respond to the task appropriately? There are some things under task response I want to share. Number 1 is that they want to see whether you wrote the number of words that you are told to write. Now, listen to this carefully. When your examiner asks you to write 150 words and you write 149 words, you are going to fail. If your examiner asks you to write 150 words or 250 words and you wrote less than the number of words, that is the first prerequisite for failure. In fact, what I was told by the IELTS examiner is that the first thing that the IELTS marker does is to count what you have written. And when they are finished counting, if it is below the word requirement, they will not bother reading your work. They will just give you 6 or 5.5. But that's the first thing they want to see. Did you write? So, for someone that doesn't know this one, you will have written very beautifully, but all the beautiful writing will become waste if you did not write up the required number of words that the IELTS examiner requested. And so the first thing is, did you write up to the number of words requested? Some people have said, okay, what if I write more than the words? Maybe I wrote, maybe they said I should write 150 and I wrote 200. Okay. Now, they don't have problem with writing more than it, actually. But there's problem when you write over more than, for example, they asked for 150 words. You wrote 400 words. Now, the issue about this particular 400 words is that there will be some point when what you are writing will become irrelevant to the topic. So at that point when it becomes irrelevant, then you begin to lose mark. Because there are some specific things they are looking for in your writing. The first thing is word requirements. I mean, 150 or 250 words. So when you now begin to write more than those, it is most likely that many of the things you are writing is already outside the what? The requirement. And the examiner is going to judge you for that. You understand? Because your task response is that you should write what the examiner asked you to write. The second thing they check out in your task response is your framework. Now, this framework is a major area of will I use the word, a major area of uh, 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 failure or success. In fact, let me say this to you. Outside of the word requirement, which is very simple, to fill the word requirement, all you just need to do is just count the number of lines you want to write. If you're going to write 20 lines, okay? And then write an average of 8 words, okay, in one line. So 8 times 20 is what? 1/8. No, 8 times 20 is what? 240. All right. So if you're writing 150 words, all right, focus on 10 lines, write 8 words per line, 8 times 10, 180. You divide each line into paragraphs. Your body your introduction, we have 2 lines. Your body 1, we have 4 lines. Body 2, 4 lines. And then your overview, 2 lines. Of course, if you're writing, that's for task 1. For task 2, you know, you can, somebody is saying they cannot hear what I'm saying. Oh my. Now, if this person can come back online, I should be able to help. Now, this is what I was saying about people not hearing me. You understand? The struggle of hearing me. Let me see. Sometimes when people are not able to. Okay, person is in the 50-day challenge. All right. So, like I was trying to say, if you're not hearing me, just count the buttons on your phone. There are 5. 1, 2, 3, that will show. When you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right, the last button that has to do with like a microphone, click it twice. Click it twice. You'll be able to hear me. Okay. So, like I was trying to say, your framework, I mean, the second that the examiner is looking at after you have dealt with, okay, I was trying to talk about the calculation of your words. So if you're writing 150 words, focus on 8 words per line. Introduction will take 2 lines. Body paragraph 1 will take 4 lines. Body paragraph 2 will take 4 lines. And then your overview will take 2 lines. That's already 180 words. Simple as ABC. But if you're going to be writing in your body paragraph 2, focus, have a target of about 25 lines. All right. So your first body paragraph will take, your introduction will take 4 lines. Your first body, 8 lines. Second body, 8 lines. That's 8, but 8 plus 8, 16. 16 plus 4, yeah. Then your introduction, your conclusion will take 5 lines. That's already, so 8, 8, you have 5, 8, 8, 5. If you're writing 5 body paragraphs, just target 5 or 4, 8, 8, 3, 5. That's it. So just target the number of lines and not the number of words you're writing averagely. And averagely, you can have up to 8 to 10 words per line. Is that clear? Averagely. If you have big writing, then you can now increase the number of your lines. You understand? Just so you can use that one to calculate the lines you are writing. Is that all right? Now, having said that, the second thing that is very important about your task response is your framework. Now, your framework is actually the interpretation of the answer. Somebody needs to help me with this issue of people not hearing me. People keep saying they're not hearing. Now, is anybody currently on my YouTube, please? If you're on my YouTube channel, let me just stand check. Please, is anybody, if you're on my YouTube channel, I don't know, can you hear me? Let me just confirm that. If you can hear me on YouTube, then I just advise, if you cannot hear me, just go on YouTube. Let me see. Currently, I'm on YouTube, so let me just stand. My YouTube is clear. So if you cannot hear me, go on YouTube straight. Please, can somebody let me type? If you cannot hear me, please go on YouTube. Anybody volunteer, just let me type it. If you cannot hear me, go on YouTube. I'm on YouTube right now, and it's clear. It's very loud on YouTube. Okay. So now, moving on, I was talking about framework. Now, your framework is the interpretation of the question. And the thing about framework is that if you miss your framework, you miss the entire question. All right. Because of time, I may not be able to talk much about framework. All right. But just write it down, framework. All right. Another thing that the examiner is looking for in your tax response is that they want to see that you are able to write within the context of what you are being asked. Now, for example, the examiner asks you to talk about the reasons why children are taller in Africa and they are shorter in Europe. The reasons, okay? Well, you now want to write the advantages. You have missed the question. You have missed the question. Or they say you should agree or disagree. You want to agree and disagree. You don't scatter the question. Or they ask you, to what extent do you agree or disagree? You want to talk about the extent you agree and disagree. Or they ask you to talk about, I mean, to relate about the this kind of question that they ask, that is the advantages more more beneficial than disadvantages. You want to talk about both advantage and disadvantage. That's not what they're asking you. Now, if you understand this thing I just said to you now, you now know why sometimes you write and you did not pass. Now, today in our paid class, I'm going to be talking about tax 2 fully. Now, the reason why I oftentimes encourage people to just, pay the sacrifice and join that paid class is because what I will spend 1 hour to discuss here in the paid class, I may not be able to give full details here now because of the time. We are supposed to start the class by 9. I will ask to tell them, please give me 10 minutes extra so that we can just conclude on this one. You understand? So moving on to the other aspects, we have talked about tax response or tax achievements. All right. The second thing that your examiner is looking for is coherence and cohesion. Coherence and cohesion. Now, that coherence and cohesion is the area where your examiner is looking out to find out whether you are able to use connective device correctly. Now, connecting devices are conjunctions. They are conjunctions that may help to upgrade your writing. Conjunctions that help to upgrade your writing. Now, for example, when you are writing in your tax one in your IELTS writing, and you say something like "to begin with," that "to begin with" tells your examiner that is a beginning of a particular illustration or a particular information. But if you just started by saying the so and so in the year 2022, you have thrown your examiner into the bush. Or as you are going to just write in contrast. That means what you are going to say after that in contrast is going to be opposite of what you have been saying before. Does that make sense? So that gives your examiner a clue that, yeah, this person is actually giving me a clue to how he is going. You understand? It's not just throwing me off. So people, they don't know how to even stay. They don't know how to carry their examiner along. Connective device carries your examiner along. It takes your examiner with you. You can work together into the point, into this you are racing, and that gives you an edge more than other people. The third thing is lexical resources. That's number 3. Lexical resources. Your examiner wants to see whether Uchenna is trying to rest. I think she went on night duty. God is your strength. It is well. I understand. Honestly, I understand. Now, so moving on to lexical resource. The lexical resource is what your examiner is trying to check out for in the lexical resource is actually your vocabularies. Now, there are three things under that lexical resource. Number one, topic-specific vocabulary. Now, if you are writing on health issue and you are now relating agricultural terminologies, you have missed that. Number two, repeating of vocabularies. Your examiner does not want you to keep repeating vocabularies, keep repeating, increase, later it now increase, later it now finally increase, to the point it now finally increase. No, you have said it 4 times. You are not expected to increase vocabulary. Just say it once and that's all right? And then the third thing is that the correct vocabulary. That is, when you are writing the vocabulary, it has to be it has to be correct. It has to be used correctly. All right, and it has to also be correct. Now, for example, now if I want to write something like apnea, the examiner will not forgive me if I write apnoea or apnow, because he didn't send me to use apnea. I'm the one that said I want to use it, and if I want to use it, I must write it what correctly. It has to be the correct spelling. Do you understand? So they are checking out on the spelling, checking out on the accuracy of your vocabulary, and that it is not frequently used. If possible, maybe once or maximum twice. And the fourth thing the examiner is checking out for is your grammatical accuracy. Grammatical accuracy. Under grammatical accuracy, what they want to see is your grammar. Simple, your grammar. Now, there are 3 kinds of sentences that your examiner is checking out for in your grammar. Number one, simple sentence. In your entire essay, you must write simple sentence twice. Number 2, compound sentence. Compound sentence. In your entire essay, you must write compound sentence twice. Number 3, complex sentence. In your entire essay, you must write complex sentence twice. Number 4, they also want to see compound complex sentence. In your entire essay, the examiner wants to see you write your compound complex sentence twice. And now, I can't go to detail of this ones now because of the time. But and when you are writing these things, they must be written accurately. The rise increased after it now decreased in the intent. It must be accurate, it must be sensible, it must be sinking to the ear. It must sink the ear. It's not just write something as what this one. Your sentence must be as appealing to a normal English speaking person as it can be. You must not write things that are looking confusing. And of course, don't write too long English. That's where the compound complex comes in. But it should not be something that you're writing every time, maybe just once or twice. Are you following me now? So that you can show the variety of knowledge you have about grammar. Are you following me? And that is how you are able to communicate your writing to your examiner. All right. Having said that, the other thing they are looking at for your grammar is punctuation. Your punctuation must be accurate. Not just putting full stop anyhow or comma anyhow. To start with comma, the comma went to comma abba. It has to be, used correctly. All right. So these are the very 4 basic stuff that your examiner are looking for in your writing evaluation. And like I said before, it is one thing to know it, it's another thing to know how to apply it correctly. I understand my point now. Somebody can say, oh, I now know this, so I will now try and evaluate myself. Now, well, as much as you can evaluate yourself, but the point of line is that you may not do it correctly. Because there are some specific things, of course, for the grammar, yes, you can do that grammar very well. For the vocabulary, of course, you can see your vocabulary, whether you are rated vocabulary, all of those things. For the cognitive device, you may have some struggle around that area. But for the task response, it takes a coach to help you properly with that task response, a coach. And so at that point, you might just need some help. And if your task response is very low, it's not likely that you pass that exam. In fact, the first type of task response is your word requirement. Once your word requirement is lower than the number was you're asking for, you have failed the exam. So I personally oftentimes, because I wrote IELTS 5 times before I passed, you see, the 5th time I will finally pass the exam, I actually had to get someone that assessed me and told me what I'm supposed to write under that task response. There's a particular framework that you must learn under that response. And incidentally, today in our podcast, we're going to be doing that. We're working on writing task one framework for the reports and then the framework for the task two. We're doing that today in our paid class. Now, I have often made some noise on the paid class on the free platform today. In the last 1 week, I've talked about it repeatedly. 1,000 people. Now, listen to me carefully. Can you hear me, everybody? Can you hear me? Some people cannot hear me, but sadly, I'm running out of time. I can't go back. I have just 4 minutes. Now, listen to me carefully. I am not guessing to tell you that in this particular January and February, this end of year, 1,000 people are going to be passing IS from this academy. Currently, from the record I have seen in our paid class, we are currently 146. We are waiting for the remaining 854 people to join, or 850 people to join. And I'm not trying to guess to you. I know that there are people that are on this page now that are in the paid class. I don't have the time. They will let you know the intensity that you are putting up on every single person on that platform to see how they can achieve that. So it's not just word of mouth, it's reality. If you have a friend in the paid class, you can go and ask the person live, what is happening in the paid class? The intensity is heavy. You cannot be in that paid class and fail IELTS. It's not possible, except you're not there. And I observed that a number of people have made requests to join the class, like 100 people. They want to join the class, but haven't sent the requirement to them. They are not able to go ahead and fulfill the requirement. I don't know whether it's just because maybe they didn't understand the message I sent to them. You understand? And so I'm not really putting pressure on anybody, but you want to write IELTS in January and February, and you want to pass at once. It is guaranteed, 100% guaranteed. And even to make matters beautiful, we'll be sponsoring some people to write. For those who pass the mock test, just to encourage them that please go and write the exam fast. We give them money to go and write the exam. So the question I will now ask you is that if you hear me now and you want to write the exam in January and February and you are in the free class, why? I mean, why? Why are you staying in the free class when you can easily have the information to pass the exam at once in the paid class? It's just a matter of just joining the paid class. And you know what I even did that make matters beautiful, that I even tried to create a system for which people do not have to pay immediately. I made that. I know when it comes to this issue, when you have this kind of opportunity open, people will give excuses. I don't have money. I'm busy. My children are disturbing me. You know, things can always come about. The thing is that we try to minimize every reason for excuses by trying to cut out, you know, some aspects. Am I making sense to you? And because we try to minimize that, in my own opinion, it will even encourage people to do. But to my surprise, it doesn't seem to move people. You know, somebody was chatting me. I just said, why you say you want to sponsor people? What would that be your gain? You know, I laughed. Okay, it was actually hard that I should be thinking about my own gain first before I try to help people. But the bottom line is that it is actually the success of people that is my gain. That is my own gain. And it is that gain that will now make people to know that this guy is not lying. And if you can have a conviction that this guy is not lying, it's like he's saying the truth, then what is keeping you from communicating with the paid class? Like for me, it's looking like somehow strange. You know, when you say, okay, you don't have money, I'll be okay, pay later. That is the best I can do for anybody when it comes to that kind of situation. And I doubt if you have that kind of privilege from people that will say, okay, you can pay in the next 1 week, you can pay another 2 weeks. You understand that kind of thing. And of course, you know what you can do, you know what you cannot do. If you say you want to pay in 1 week, I believe you are going to do it. I'm not someone that have that doubt. I believe you're going to do what you say you will do. And so what I'm trying to emphasize now is that if you are hearing my voice now and you are sincere that you want to write IELTS in January and February and pass, this is an opportunity for you. It's point blank and straightforward. Don't waste it. You would have missed something major if you don't join this particular class between now And then, in fact, between now, because we are going to start writing tax 2 today, and it's massive. It's massive. I know they will have been waiting for me now. We are starting writing tax 2 today. Oh my God. So what exactly will now be your excuse gun? Like for me, I can't fathom it really. So I'm going to place the option for payment again on that particular free class in case you really want to join. As soon as you land your payment, for those people that have already said they wanted to join the class and they have not made any decision, I'm going to cancel all of them now. Because if I've sent you the requirement and you do not have the capacity to do it, which is very simple, like I said, it's not about the money, it's about the interest. I've posted the interest out. I've said you can pay later. I've said you don't have to pay now or whatever. You can pay parts now. I mean, what else am I supposed to do, God save, about this issue? And so I will post that link again. If in case you are still interested, maybe it is still in your heart to be part of that group, don't waste the time. Join today's class. We are starting right now. Join now. As soon as you make payment, chat with Chinwe. She's going to add you and you can be part of the class. And then go ahead and pass and succeed once in your exam. You see, it is after this, it's after February. Some people will say, and he was saying it too, and he was saying it too. Some people you see, will say, and something was saying, something was saying, I don't just obey that thing and join once and squander your exam once and for all and move on with the next phase of your life. So I'm looking out to everyone that is truly interested to see how much they can benefit from this opportunity. All right. Thank you very much. I will not be able to take questions, but if you have questions, go onto the YouTube page and put your questions down, or probably on the free page. I will be happy to answer your questions, maybe via a video response later today. Thank you, everyone, and kindly have a wonderful day.